Sir, in ADSL dataset, we just added means it was already there. We just um, uh, got the data for it for demographic, or we created all new dataset.
I didn't get your question. We created all new data set, right? By using our DM dates and exposure dates and vital signs information.
Okay, okay, yeah, okay. So we have to keep it in Adam, like we have to keep it separately.
Yeah, Adam will be separately in Adam folder, or you can call
Okay,
it as an analysis library.
okay.
Yeah, now we'll be using this dataset for creating our tables. That's the reason we created analysis dataset, right? So it's easier for creating our tables.
Tables, okay.
Yeah. Uh, I got Vijay ready. Who is this? Okay, let us start with the class. So these are ADSL variables which we discussed in last class. These variables are called study identifiers and okay, Monica, that's fine. And these are called demographic variables which are coming from DM, and these are my flags that I need according to my study that are present in my SAP, which we have seen how to create these variables, and these are my treatment codes, ARM codes, and these are the variables which we created by using our ARM and ARM code. O1P is nothing but planned treatments, O1PN is our planned numeric treatments, O1A1 is planned actual treatments, and O1AN is our numeric variables, sequence planned and numeric for that sequence actual, and we created our time variables. Time variables should be always numeric in analysis datasets. It should not be like IS8601 DT date format. These are either date 9 format or date time 15 format. If you are only representing date, that is date 9 format, and this is time 5 dot format. This is 9 plus 5 and 1. It's time 15 dot format. So these are our period 1 treatment start dates, period 2 and period 3 start dates and end dates. So this is DSD code which we used for treatment dates. We used our exposure dataset and RFST DTC and RFEN DTC. For
So
DSD
what
code,
was period 1 and 2 and 3?
last week I said, right? Let's say this. If you go to yeah, this is my period 1. Day 13 will be my period 1. Day 18 will be my period 2. And this is my sequence 1 and sequence 2. In sequence 1, test is assigned first, which is on day 13, which is nothing but day 13 is considered as period 1. Day 18 is considered as period 2 because those are only the dates where test and reference has been given. So that's the reason this study is called as an double blinded study, because both test and reference are blinded. A part of this test and reference, what was the other drug we have given? Doxycycline. That was given on from day 1 to day 18, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is called period 1, this is called period 2.
And period 3?
Uh, because we consider doxycycline as also period 1. In the background, we are considering doxycycline as period 1, this as period 2, and this as period 3. When we are creating our
Okay.
tables, you'll understand that when we are creating tables, how, because if I go to my AE table, Why I'm talking as 3 periods? Because see, we are reporting all the adverse events separately. Adverse events caused because of doxycytosine, adverse events caused because of test, and adverse events caused because of reference. So for creating these tables, we are considering as 3 different periods. But basically, according to our protocol, we only have 2 periods. There are no 3 periods.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, there will be always 2 periods, or there will be more than there
There
can be
can
more
be
than this.
more than 3. They can use 3 different treatments at a time. If they want to compare one more drug, they can do that. Here it
Okay,
is
but
a
three will be the
double-blinded study.
maximum.
If you go to our protocol here, it says, right, this is single center double-blinded. That means only true treatment study this is. Sometimes it can be two-way double-blinded, then it will be totally 4 drugs. It can be any number of drugs.
Okay, sir. There will be no maximum limit, right?
No, but why they will do 5 drugs at a time? They won't do, right? They will only compare any of the 2 drugs. It's not possible to compare 5 drugs. Then we don't know adverse event is causing
What
because of which
causes
drug.
of
So
which drug?
anytime there will be maximum comparing 2 drugs.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So, sir, this is two-way crossover study, right?
Yes, double-blinded, two-way crossover study. Two-way crossover means that's what we have seen in the protocol, right? For some subjects, they have given test on the day 13. For some subjects, they have given reference on day 13. So it's two-way crossover. There are 2 treatments and they are two-way crossover. If you see our ADAM dataset, you can say that. By seeing our ADAM dataset itself, we can say what kind of study it is. If I see here, how many treatments are there? 2 treatments, but they are like mismatch, right? For the first subject, they have given reference and test. For the second subject, they have given test and reference. So they cross over the subject with different dates and times. Cross over the treatment doses. Okay, we'll start with DM table, then we can discuss again. So these are the ADAM variables. And at the last we have BL height, weight, and BMI. So suppose they have asked you to create tables. Before they have assigned you the work for tables, statistician will provide you an shell. How to create the table? They will give an sample. So this is the way they wanted the table to be represented as. They want age. For age, these are the statistics that they need. What statistics they need? They need n median, and median is concatenated with standard deviation and shouldn't have any decimals. But if you see mean, here they have 1 decimal, right? How do you know that is 1 decimal? So if they have indicated like this, that means they wanted value to be represented as 1 decimal here. If they have indicated in the SAP like this, that indicates they need values like this. Like something can be 17 or 18. But even this is not like sometimes if you have result only 10, that should be fine. But after decimal, you should have only 2 decimals. You'll know when we are creating the table. So for n, they are saying n is nothing but what is n in ProcFreq? What will be the value of n? If I am doing ProcFreq for 10 subjects, what will be n?
The number of subject.
Yeah, number of subjects. So what will be the result for n then?
10.
10. What will be the mean?
The average.
Yeah, mean is if you are comparing with age or something, then let's say I have 5 people with age 10 and 5 people with age 20. The average will be
50.
50 and 50 for both of the ages. So standard deviation, median, minimum, and maximum values. So what is the statistical procedure that I'm going to use to derive age?
Free.
No. Sorry, what is the statistical procedure? Is it freak?
Hello?
Who said that's freak?
Sir, I can't hear you.
Who is that? Vidisha?
Yes.
Is it same with everyone or only Vidisha had the problem?
I can hear.
It is breaking.
Yeah, but it was breaking.
But it is breaking. I can hear, but voice is breaking sometimes.
Yeah, just give a minute. Is it clear, guys, now? Is it
This is clear.
or it's the same?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what is the statistical procedure that we are going to use to derive n mean, median, min and max? Anyone?
It's a proc freak.
No, proc freak is only for counts, right? Who is that with proc means? That's correct. Someone messaged me. Yes, Monica. We use proc means, right? Proc means data is equal to by var variable output out is equal to means n is equal to n m is equal mean is equal to mean. Proc means. So this is the means procedure, right? What is our basic syntax? Output dataset and statistical keywords we'll use. We'll use var and class. If you want means, standard deviation, sum, minimum and maximum. We use means for that. Okay.
Okay.
So, and for age, race, for age, height, weight and BMI, we'll be doing proc means. But for other two character variables, ethnicity and race are characteristic variables, right? So for this, what we'll be using is proc freak. We'll be doing counts here. For others, we'll be doing
Proc means.
proc means. So this is our shell. They wanted the total count to be printed here. They want, this is called as the title for this demographics table. What is the title? Summary of demographics and baseline characteristics. This is the study number. Okay. And for footnotes, what footnotes indicates is what is represented in the table, or if you want to give more information for the reviewer, because if you go to table you don't see sex variable, right? This is a demographics table. There should be also freak for sex, but why didn't we do freak for sex? Because we only have one category of sex here. We only have male in our study. Our study contains only male because we are only researching on male drug.
Yeah.
It should be in the DM part. Yeah. So no need to do any more counts for this because we know total number of count is 24. That's why we are indicate sometimes if reviewer sees why they didn't do any statistics for male, then he will go to end and see, okay, all subjects were male. We have indicated here. We'll also create listing related to this. That listing number is this one, and the path for the program and version of SAS you are using, date and time will be given at the end. So this is the sample shell. Now we have to print the values as shown in the shell. Okay, now we will be creating program part. So don't forget, don't worry about these formats. I will say you what we are doing with these formats at the end. All I am doing is I'm creating three formats. One format is called stat, the other format name is cat, the other format name is label. why am I creating these formats is if I see stat, I'm representing these values as per the shell: n, mean, median, min and max. That is how it is defined in the shell for means procedure, right? N, mean, median, min and max. That's what I'm copying here. For cat, I'm using age, ethnic, race because my first category is age, second category is ethnicity, third category is race, fourth one is height, weight, BMI. I'm creating one more format for that to sort my categories at the end. And I'm also using these categories with their units. What is the units for age? Years. What is the units for height? cm. That is how represented in the shell, right? Age, years, height, cm. I'm creating some formats which we'll be using in our programming part. So now what am I taking? I'm taking my ADSL dataset. I'm transposing it by study ID, subject ID. So as this is only one record per subject, I'm taking these variables again. What is the output dataset am I creating? AD demo. And I'm sorting this. What are the default variables that are created by using proc transpose? What are the two variables that are created by using proc transpose?
Where?
No, I'm saying in the output. What are the variables we are expecting in the output? There are two default variables that are created when we use proc transpose. Underscore name underscore and underscore label underscore, right?
Okay. Yes, thank you.
So underscore name underscore contains what are the variables that are defined in the where statement. So now I'm doing it by subject ID. So I got 24 records and their ages. And then I got 24 records again and I got their BMIs. Then again I got 24 records and their heights, 24 records and their weights. Totally 24 times 4 is 96, right? So we totally got 96 records. Previously we have these values as 4 different variables for age, height, weight and BMI, right? I got age here and I got weight here, I got BMI here, height here and BMI here. Why am I transposing is at one step I can do proc means now. I can just do means for underscore name underscore and call, right? You will understand when I'm doing means. Now I'm sorting by underscore name, okay. Either you can use proc means or proc univariate. Both of those do same, both the procedures are same. So I'm taking my AD demo dataset. I'm using no print because I don't want to print it in as my output. By underscore name, but for where I'm using call, output dataset I'm creating is means, and what are the statistical results I'm printing? N, mean, standard deviation, median, minimum and maximum. Now if I run, I will get an output dataset called means. Now I got age, I got total count, which is 24. I got their mean, their standard deviation, their maximum age is 59, their minimum age is 30, median is 38. So at one step we got all 4 statistics. If you haven't used proc transpose, what you have to do then, you have in where you have to do height, one step, that is one step. In the second step you have to do again weight. So you have to write your proc univariate statement 4 times instead of doing single time. So by using transpose, what am I doing is I'm creating all the values into one variable, and I'm using this underscore name underscore as by. So by each category I'm getting their results now. By each category, I'm getting their results. So now I got n, mean, standard deviation, maximum, medium, and minimum. But if you see mean and standard deviation, I have a lot of decimal values. If I count here 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But according to my shell, I don't need two decimal value. I only need one decimal value for my mean, and I only need one decimal value for my standard deviation. And how I have to represent in my shell? I want to represent it like this. So n value will be directly represented. Mean should be concatenated with standard deviation. That means mean should be concatenated with standard deviation. What are the values I'm having for mean here? Let's take let's take it for age. I have 39.08. I want to represent it as only one decimal according to my shell. Now I'll be doing round. So I can either use seal, floor, depends on your shell. You need to talk to stat how you need to represent. If it is 39.8, I'll be representing as 39.1. 08, if it is anything more than 0.5, I'll be representing as 1. And first, if anything is greater than 0.5, it might be 0.51 or 0.52 or 0.6. I'll be representing it as decimal 1. I'll be considering it as 1 point. And I have to concatenate standard deviation with my mean. So how should standard deviation be represented? It should be represented only with one decimal. So what was my value for standard deviation here? 8.04. It is less than 0.5. So I'll be representing it as 8.0. I'll be representing it as 8.0. So this is how the value should be printed. So for this, we need to modify our output data set. We need to modify. So we need to concatenate mean with standard deviation, and minimum and maximum should be concatenated, and both of them should be concatenated and separated by a comma, because if you see here, min and max, both of them are concatenated, and if they don't show any decimal, that indicates you need to use best dot. So it prints the values as in the data set. Okay, now we'll be working on how to make those cosmetic changes. So I'm taking my data set means, which is outputted here. So I got my means data set here. First of all, I'm creating a dummy record. I'm creating one more new variable called result, and I'm outputting it. I'm creating So now I'm creating variables called item and result. Let's say I'm creating item. Here it will be 0 and result will be missing here for the first record. If you want any other variables, you can create. And I'm outputting it. So first this record is outputted. Then what am I doing? Item is equal to 1, result is equal to put of n comma 3. So I'm using this one, and I am taking 3 values, and I am not printing any decimals for that. For the item 0, 1, 2, these are used just for sorting. For result, what am I doing? I'm converting into, what does put do? What does put function
Numeric
do?
to character. Numeric to character.
Yes.
Converts numeric.
So I'm converting my means value into character. Because it is numeric now, I'm converting into character and I'm concatenating with open bracket. Why am I concatenating with open bracket? Because my shell requires an open bracket here for the value, right? Here I'm using 5.1 because they're expecting 1 decimal for my mean. Yes, they're expecting 1 decimal for my mean. And I'm using again put to convert my standard deviation also from numeric to character. Then I'm closing my bracket, I'm outputting. Similarly, I'm doing median. I'm also doing my min and max. And for min and max, I'm concatenating with comma. What catex do? Catex does same function as pipes. I'm using my delimiter for concatenating here. Now if I run this, one more data set is created. See, values are printed as shown in the shell, right? And duplicate record is created after each separate category. Values are represented as shown in the shell. N should be having no decimals. Mean should be having 1 decimal, which should be concatenated with my standard deviation. And my standard deviation should have 1 decimal. My median should have 1 decimal. Min and max should be printed as they are in my previous data set. I should not make any modifications for min and max. For age, it is 59 and 30, so they are printed as it is. For BMI, if you see 30.7 and 18.7. For BMI, 18.7 and 30.7. I haven't made any modifications for my min and max any place. Okay, so and now why am I using item? So this is for missing. I have created 0. If you see here, for first record, I'm saying result is equal to missing, then item is equal to 0. If it is an n value, I'm printing as 1. See, this is the n value, right? So I got my item n as 1. Here also I have n value. Wherever you have n value, I'll be having item 1. Wherever I have missing, I'll have item 0. Wherever I have mean and standard deviation, I'll be having item 2. That is what we have created. And at the end, we are sorting by underscore name underscore and item. So first it sorts according to alphabetical order of this, because I'm using underscore name underscore in the first place. Then I'm using, so once age is created, then it sorts according to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it goes to the second category, because this is the order that I need in my output shell, right? This is the order that is given in my shell, n mean. So I'm creating one more variable, extra variable, to create a numeric values as to be represented in my shell. So now we have completed statistics for 4 categories. What are those 4 categories? Age, height, weight and BMI, which are numeric variables. Now I need to do statistics for ethnicity and race. Similarly, what is my stat dot? My stat dot is this one. So I don't have, in my shell, I don't have those things, right? So I'm applying this stat dot for my data set called stat. So what format am I applying to my item n? So for this variable, I'm applying a format. For this variable 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what am I giving for, what I have given format as 1 as n, 2 as mean and standard deviation, 3 as median, 4 as min and max. So I'll be using I'll be using this variable to apply that format in my dataset. So let us run this stat under t. I got stat under t. I have dropped all the other variables which I don't need. I don't need this anymore. I don't need these variables anymore because everything is created in my result variable. So I'm dropping all those and I'm only keeping my result, my underscore name, my item and my column one. So we are almost there for first of 4 categories, right? Because why we created call one, because we need it according to our shell. We need it according to our shell, and these are the total values. Why we are not dropping this is we might need this for sorting again. Okay. Now again I'm doing transpose for race and ethnic. Why am I doing transpose? So that I can do freak at once. I'm outputting as demo1. Now I have totally 24 subjects with race and 24 subjects with ethnicity. So totally I have 48 subjects. Now I need to do proc freak. Any one of you, how can I do proc freak? Can you say me here, or let me give control to someone? Anjali, can you say me proc freak procedure for this dataset? Tarak, Vibha, can you say me how to do proc freak for this? I want frequency based on the total count. So what variables will you be using in the statement? What is syntax here?
Sir, where would be subject ID?
Do we have where in my do we have where in our freak procedure?
Mm. By subject ID.
Okay, by subject ID. Okay. And what is the syntax? If I want the count for race and ethnic, what is the syntax? Even I don't need based on the subject. I don't need based it on the subject. I need count for race and ethnic.
So proc freak dataset name and then by race and ethnic.
Do you use table statement in proc freak?
Yes.
Yes.
Why do we need by? Because we need table statement because we want statistics only for we need statistics only for race and ethnic. So what statistics I want? I want statistics my race versus their values. So then what I need to do? I need to do by name under call. I just have only 2 variables here. That's why at least you could answer it. I'm not saying to Vibha guys. I'm saying to everyone. We were almost at the end of the class. We have only one more class left. You have to be good at procedures because until unless you are thorough on this procedures part, you are not able to create tables or data sets. It's for everyone in the class. Okay, so what does proc freak do? It gives the counts. So what is my output data set here? Freak. So now I got my race and I have two categories for race. One is black, total number of people were 8, and The other race is white. Total is 16. When it comes to ethnic, I have 2. Hispanic or Latino, not Hispanic or Latino. Those are the only 2 races and 2 ethnics we have here. And now we need to modify this according to our shell. How they are representing in our shell. What is represented in the brackets? I'll say, So what was my count for Hispanic? 10. And what was my count for not Hispanic? 14. Hispanic is 10. Not Hispanic is 14. So those are the values that need to be represented in the shell, but they have given something else. xx.x. What is that? So it is nothing but what is my total count? 24, right? So xx.x is nothing but 10 divided by 24 into 100. How much is it?
Percentage.
Yeah, it is nothing but percentage. So this will be nothing but 41.6.
Isn't that value already in the table?
Yeah, because that's there in the shell. We need to create that now.
No, go to freak table. I saw a percentage column there. Freak table
No,
data set.
data set. No,
What is this 20%? Okay, is it the total of the entire thing?
no, it's the total. It counts some default percentages. SAS prints percent, right? If you want no percent, you can use no percent.
Okay.
So, and what will be percentage for the other one then?
58.3.
Yeah, 58.3. So it should match to, this is 41 point, actually 666. Anything above 5 will represent as 7, right? This is for this Hispanic, the original value was 41.6666. If anything greater than 5, 5 and we have decimals, will be considering as, the function ceil and round. Ceil, round and floor, right? Here we'll be using ceil. So it will be taking the upper range. So if we sum both of these, it should be equal to 100. 41.7 plus 58.3 is equal to 100%. So those values should be represented. So for that, first what am I doing? I'm counting the total number of patients in my study. If I see my begin data set, how many people are there for ethnic? 24. How many people are there with race? 24. If we sum up both of these ethnics, it is 24, right? It might be 2 different categories of ethnic. It might be 2 different categories of races, but total is 24. So we got total count here, 24 and 24. Why do we need that? Because we need to do calculations by 24, which is nothing but my total count. So this is called as small n by big N into 100. Small n is nothing but my actual value. Big N is count for my study, total number of patients. So small n by big N into 100. So for that, I'm calculating counts. How am I doing that? Create table begin, select distinct count of U subject ID. I'm taking this data set ADDemo1. I'm taking this data set distinct count of uSubject ID, and I'm doing for variable underscore name underscore. So it prints separate count for race and ethnic, because here we have only two different factors, race and ethnic, in this variable. So I'm using simple freak for doing that. And I'm creating into new variable called underscore name underscore. Underscore name underscore as underscore name underscore. From which data set? AD demo. Which is the new data set am I creating? Begin. So now I will be using this data set. So what am I doing is, now I'm merging both of these data sets. What data sets am I merging? Both of these data sets. How can both of these data sets be merged? By using which variable?
Underscore.
Name underscore name.
Yeah, by using underscore name underscore. So once I merge, what variables will I be having? Underscore name underscore. Okay. Call one, count, percent, and I'll be having begin, right? Let us take one observation. Here I'll be having ethnic, and here I'll be having Hispanic or Latino. Here I'll be having 10. Here I'll be having 20.8. Here I'll be having 24.
24.
So after merging, this is how it is represented, right? So if I want to do calculations now, what can I do? Count by begin into 100, right? So I'm dividing 10 by 24 into 100. So for that I need to give my variable names. Count by begin into 100. So 10 by 24 into 100 is nothing but 41.7. So that is what we are representing here in the program. Put off count by begin into 100. Why we are doing 5.1? Because in the shell they are requesting for one decimal, and they are also concatenating with percentage. So we are concatenating with percentage and closing bracket. Here we have opened the bracket. For that we are using simple proxy equal statement, create table. We are creating new data set called from under freak, select A. So we are taking two data sets here. A is my begin data set, B is my A is my result data. What was the other data set we are using? We are using freak dataset, and see here I'm using freak dataset, and I'm also using begin dataset. Begin will be my dataset B and freak will be my dataset A. I'm using left join to merge both of the datasets. I'm merging by using underscore name underscore. Once we do this, what will be our output? From under freak we got new dataset. So we got the percentages. This is how we want to represent it in the shell. So now we'll be setting our previous data set called stat under T and from under freak. So now we are setting our from under freak and stat under T. Why am I applying this for? Let us run it till here first. So I'll get one more final data set. So what do we got now? We got all ethnics and races, and we also got the other data set values. So, and we got all of their results. For frequencies, we have to concatenate with percentages. That's what we have done. For others, we have formatted according to the shell. Now I'm applying one more format called cat. What is format for cat? This one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why am I doing that? I'm applying that format to these ones. So because I want age to be printed as 1, right? So if I run it till here, now if I see my final data set, I got 1 for age, 2 for ethnic, 3 for race. I got 3 here for race. I got 4 for height, 5 for weight, 6 for BMI, because BMI is the last one if you see in the shell. 6 for BMI. This is the order I need to be printed in the shell: age, ethnicity, race, height, weight, and BMI. So now we can sort by using cat. Now I'm also giving one more format called label. What is that label format? I wanted those age, ethnicity, and race to be printed like this. Age should have its unit's name, and height should have its unit's name, weight should have its unit's name. So we already created a numeric format here. So for that cat, I can apply my format called label. So I'm applying that format called label for my cat variable. I need to close this. See, first I have created this format by using underscore name underscore. I have created this one, and by using this one I have created this one. Now we don't need this variable anymore, because in the output we will be printing in this way, because that is what expected in the shell. Kg per meter square, kg for weight, for height centimeters, for age years. Same, once again we are creating one global macro variable called A, and we are printing the total count in that. Why do we want that? Because here they have asked for total count to be printed here in the table. So for that we are creating one global macro variable called A, and if we run this, what will be percent put of A? It's 24. 24 is my total count, right? So my macro variable ampersand A now contains 24. So I'm doing, what am I doing? I'm counting the distinct USubject ID, and as it is, it should be an character value. So I'm using put here to convert into character. Once you create a macro variable, it will be in numeric format. So once you printed at the end, it will be printed like this: total n is equal to 24. Here I'll be having lot of space. I don't want that space. I want it to be printed as total n is equal to 24. Then what do we need to do? We need to convert into character. So I'm converting into character by using put, and I got value as 24. And I'm creating one more macro variable called version. I'm assigning value called final for that. I'll show you what it does. I'm creating SAS default macro variables for date and time. So the current date and time will be printed when we use now. Put today. We learned this also in our base SAS classes. Put under today prints today's date. Put under time prints today's time. Date will be in date9 format and time will be in time5 format. Put SAS version. So this is default SAS macro variable. It prints the current version of SAS. What is my current version of SAS? 9.3. Now I am creating proc report. So we have completed creating our final data set. Okay. We have created our final data set. Basically what information we need is these ones, right? We only need these to be printed. I think, yeah, we only need these three to be printed in our shell. We need this age, ethnicity, and this results. So ODS RTF file, I'm creating a path where this output file should be printed. Where I want to print this, I want to print this here. I want to print this here in my training. This is the path for that. So I have copied this path to here. Okay. And the output I want it to be printed as DM. And I want this title to be printed. Summary of demographics and baseline characteristics study PR 1013. Why I want that title? Because the title is given here. So I want to print this title. So whenever you say option called title, if you do anything in the inverted commas, that will be printed as the header for my RTF file. For which RTF file? RTF file called DM. Here I am creating a DM RTF file in this path, and I want the title to be printed as this one. Footnote, all subjects were male. What is the footnote here? All subjects were male. I have one more footnote called, I'm not printing this footnote. If you want, you can do footnote 2 and footnote 3, but I'm only printing two footnotes. One is that male one, the second one is this one. So what do I want to print? Where was my output printed? Where was my program located? That is what they are giving in the footnote, right? T under dm.sas. They want the path of the program. Where am I saving this program? In advanced, T under dm. So I'm copying this path. C users, desktop, training, advanced training. And what is the program name? T under dm. SAS. What does ampersand SAS for prints? It prints 9.3. So it will be like SAS. Once you use that macro variable in the output, it will be shown as SAS 9.3. What was ampersand now refers to? Ampersand now refers to current date and time. What was ampersand version refers to? Final, because we have created a macro variable called final, because this is the final version of table which we are creating. Which data set am I using for this report? Proc report data is equal to final. I'm using this data set for my report. I will say you what does this split do, and you know what no windows does. It doesn't open any windows or outputs. I will also say what does this style do. Let us run. So what variables I want to use from my final data set? From my final data set, I only want to use these variables. In the column statement, when we discussed our proc report procedure, what did we learn? Whatever the variables you wanted to print on your either RTF file or PDF file, or whatever variables you want to use for your report procedure, those should be given in column statement. I want only cat label col1 and result. Okay, col1, result, cat, label. I only need 4 of these variables. I'm not taking the other 2 variables. What does define statement do? Define statement, you can specify anything for each variable. It defines what are required for each variable. I don't want to print category. What is category? Because I don't want to print this. Why I don't want to print? This is not shown in the shell, right? That we are only using this cat for sorting purpose. So I'm saying no print, order it. What does order do? It sorts according to category. Don't print this variable, just only order according to this variable. That's what we are saying here. Okay. For label, order it and use width is equal to 20 and label is equal to missing. So I'm saying order this. And for col1, I'm not sorting it. I'm asking it just to print as it is because this is already sorted. N is in the first place, min is in the second place. So display as it is. What does order do? Order orders the variable. If it is alphabetical, if it is a character, it sorts according to alphabetical. If it is numeric, it sorts according to the numeric variables. And here I'm giving width as 20. Here also I'm just displaying the values. I'm not sorting. And I'm giving the label as ampersand a. What does ampersand a refers to? 24. I will show you what compute does. Let me run this report, then I can explain you what other things do. See, my report is created. I got age, their n, mean, median, standard deviation, min and max. I got their results. How I got this one here? Why I have missing here for age and these results I have missing because they haven't defined anything here in the shell. They said make it as missing, but here they want header as total. How did I do that? Here I have it as missing, display is missing. Here also I have it as missing, but here I said total is equal to total concatenated with n is equal to ampersand a. What will be value of ampersand a? 24. What is this doing here? Here I am giving an option called split. When we learned proc procedure, we have learned, right? Once you give anything in the split, the delimiter will make it into second line. This will be in the first line. Total will be in the first line. This will be in the second line. That is what printed, right? Total is in the first line and is equal to 24. If I haven't used that, let's say I haven't used this one, what will happen? I need to close this before I run. See, now I am not using the delimiter here. See, it is printed in a single line. I don't want it like that. Why? Because my shell says they wanted it like this. So that's why I'm using split. So if you go to table again, I got my title, right? Summary of demographics and baseline characteristics, study PR 1013. And I also got my footnotes. All subjects were male. I got the path and I got SAS 9.3, 22 July. Yes, today's date is 22 July and time is 10:04. 22:04 is nothing but 10:04 p.m. and version is final. So we got our report. And what does this do is, if I take this out, options no date, no number, let me show you what happens. If you see here, I don't have any date on the top of my table. I think it has not updated. Because once we use options no date, no number, it has been saved in my SAS. Until unless I close my SAS and open again, it won't work. Normally date will be printed on the top of my RTF file. When you are using report procedure, date will be printed on the top here next to my title. It will be printed defaultly. I don't want it to be printed on the top because that is not mentioned in the shell. I want it to be printed only here. So that's why I'm using no date, no number. But to print it at the end, what did I do? I created ampersand now, a macro variable, right? I'm using this piece of code and I'm using ampersand now for that. Output width is equal to 6 inches. What is this one? Style report output width is equal to 6 inches. I am saying total width of the page is 6 inches. If you count the space from here to here, it will be 6 inches. If you take a scale and measure, it will be 6 inches. I am saying total space to be 6. And we have also defined specifically says for space here, width is equal to 20, width is equal to 30. For label, I am saying width is equal to 20. What is label? This one. I'm saying this to be 20. Here I am saying width as 30. Here I'm not giving any width, so it defaultly prints some width. No, I have given here also 30. So what does, if I'm not using this compute, what happens? Here if you see the current report, I have a space after each category, right? After each category, I have an empty space. Why am I doing that? Because in my shell, I have some space here. So to distinguish or to make appearance good, I'm doing that. Suppose if I haven't used that, let us see what happens. Now I have taken that compute block out. We discussed about compute block also when we are discussing our proc report procedure. See, now I don't have space after each category. Here I don't have any space. Previously we had an extra space. So how did we do that? How did we create that space? Compute after category. I'm saying compute after each category. What is my categories? What does my category variable contain? These values. So when it is going to find a new category, it prints, it creates an empty space. Now I'm using compute after cat, line is equal to missing, end comp. If I open proc report procedure, you'll remember what we have done in our report. You all did good job that time. I never forgot report class. Let me show you, you'll remember. We all created this thing, right? You also applied colors for this. If you want to print some value also, you can print. Here we are just filling some value in our report procedure when we created in proc procedures. But here all we are doing is we are only creating some space after each category. So now if I run this, I got space after each category. Someone might have a question like, why you are using order only once here? Why you are using here twice? Only once it is enough to sort according to that, right? If I need to sort, I only need once. But here, why am I using twice? If I don't use twice, let's see what happens. What's the difference between using it once and twice? See, here I got it printed every time. I don't want it to be printed every time. It is still sorted according to alphabetical. It is sorted according to alphabetical, like A comes first, so it is sorted according to A, then E. If I use order twice, what it does is, if there are repeating values, it only prints for the first time. It only prints for the first time. Now let me change that again. Now I'm using order twice. Now let me rerun it again.
Sir, but what is the order is equal to internal?
So internally order it. That means when it is finding it second time, it won't print it. Now if you see the report, I don't want it to be printed. Now if you want to align this age here, if you want to align this age value to be printed in the second column, you can also do that. Actually, that is how it is shown in the shell. If you want, you can work on it, how to do that. But for our training, this should be fine. We created almost as it is in our shell, 90%. If you want these lines to be deleted, you can also delete this. If you don't want to print these lines, you can also do that. Because in our shell, we don't have any boxes, right? If I show you the original table, let me show you. See, this is the original table with values. The results will be same, 24, 39.1, 24, 39.1, 8.0. But look and feel is some more difference. It is perfectly according to the shell. For that, you'll have a standard templates in the company for taking out those lines, all those things. You'll be having standard templates in your companies. You don't need to worry about that. But this is only the programming part which you need to work on. But other things comes up with the standard templates and standard macros. But results are same, right? 41.7, 58.3. If I see our original table, 41.7 and 58.3. This is all we need to worry about.
So what is that original table that we create?
That was the table that has been in the study. This is the submitted table to the FDA. We are working on real data. We are working on the real-time data from one of the companies. So,
but we are just trying to recreate it.
Yeah, we are trying to recreate it with our own code.
Okay.
We are not using any macros or templates because all companies have their standard templates to print this table. But we got the table, we got the results, we got look and feel similar to the original table, right?
Okay.
As per our shell. This will be more than enough for you for training purpose. Even in the company, you'll be working on only on this part. Even you won't be working on report. You'll be having standard macros for reports. Only you'll be updating this part for column, whatever variables you are creating in your final data set, and you'll be changing this widths or some things like that. Whatever macro, you can also create ampersand b, 24 as ampersand b. So you'll be only changing those parts. Other things will be as per standard macro. That's all, guys. So what have we done today here? First, we have done continuous. So what is means? Means is called as an continuous data, and freak is called as an categorical data. So if someone asks you, did you work on frequency demographics table? Yes. So what did you do? I have done statistics for continuous and categorical. So what did then you have to start? Yes, I have done DM table. I have done different statistics for continuous and categorical. When it comes to continuous, I have done proc means for age, BL height, weight, and BMI. When it comes to categorical, I worked on race, ethnic. Here you can also say sex, race, ethnic, and sex. Here we have only one sex, so we haven't used sex variable for
Categorical.
Here we have only race and ethnic. If you have sex, you can also say in categorical, I have done race, ethnic, and sex. For continuous, what we have done? Height, weight, BMI, and age. Then what did we do we formatted all the values as per the shell. We formatted all the values here as per the shell. We formatted both the continuous and categorical data. Here we formatted categorical data. I'll send you this code. This code might help you in real time also. All you need to do is you need to create, you need to use your path from your study, and if there is some change in representing these values, you have to change those, and you can use as it is, like do proc transpose, then do univariate, then do this, and you'll be, if you have this code, you'll be doing DM table in 15 minutes.
So, sir, proc univariate is equal to means?
Yeah, proc univariate is same like means. Both are same continuous data procedures. Even I can do means here. Let us run this. Okay, see, we didn't have any error. What was the output? Output is means. We got same results.
So why did they create two procedure for the same thing?
I don't know. I need to ask SAS people. Might be
That
in univariate they also have some extra functions, I guess.
features, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we won't be using all those features.
Okay.
You can, I don't think we can print upper limit and lower limit LCM, UCLM. There are called UCLM and LCLM. You were not able to, I think we discussed that in procedure class. Let me see the notes for that. This is report, right? Let us go to proc procedure. What is it? Oh, sorry. We need to go to proc means, right? Yeah, it's here. Even you can use here LCLM equals to might be it is used in means. Yeah, see, in means you can use UCLM. It was highlighted once I created means. In univariate, you are not able to create UCLM. See, it was not highlighted now. This option is not accepted in univariate. So there are some different outputs that can, I mean, different results that can be created by means and univariate. But the standard results will be printed by both univariate and means. So what we have done two statistical procedures, continuous and categorical, and we have formatted according to the shell. And then we have used our proc report to print this into an RTF file. I'll be sending this recording, and I'll be sending